Coming from Reuters, OpenAI's rogue agent compromised a customer at a second tech firm, executive says. Yes, that's right. OpenAI didn't commit one felony. They committed multiple felonies. Doesn't that make you feel more confident about their IPO for $1 trillion? So yeah, apparently this disaster just keeps getting worse. It's just getting to be so bad. So if you have not followed along with this particular bouncing ball, basically OpenAI came out with a new model. They were trying to test that new model for being able to go through the cybersecurity test and try to get a good score on a cybersecurity test. And they let their agents, basically the agents that were running this model, they just let them go. And then, surprise, surprise, somehow these agents broke out of their sandbox. So OpenAI had created a sandbox for them, basically what's supposed to be a contained environment for them. They were able to break out of their sandbox, and then they went to hack Hugging Face. So somehow the agents got the quote unquote idea that if they could figure out what the answers to the test was, then when they took the test, they would know all the answers. So that was the best way to get a score. And somehow, from all of that, they decided, quote unquote, decided to hack Hugging Face. So Hugging Face was actually attacked. Hugging Face was actually attacked. They had to use Chinese models. Again, that's true too. They had to use Chinese models to stop the hacking attack. And they contacted the FBI because a felonious hacking attack was being done against them. And then OpenAI came back and went, oh, it was us. Right? And then OpenAI wanted to tell the world that their victim was really a partner. Our victim partnered with us during this criminal incident. Anyways, and more stuff has come out about this, right? So we've heard this about Fable 5. Like one of the things with a Hugging Face is Hugging Face tried to use Fable 5 in order to stop this hacking event. Fable 5 like just failed because of the guardrails on Fable 5. Fable 5 refused to actually bring back results that could help them deal with the cybersecurity incident. So that's why they ended up having to use a Chinese model. I think it was Z.AI, their model they had to use because they could actually use it to do the work. And then beyond that, we find out that essentially nobody was monitoring these little AI agents. So the whole attack, don't quote me here, but everything started on something like July 9th, or was it June 9th, July 9th? Anyways, it started like the 9th, and then it went all the way to like the 19th or 20th or whatever, right? And for much of that time, OpenAI didn't even know what the hell was going on. They didn't have any monitoring of the agents that they released in order to do better in cybersecurity, which was its own fucking insanity and all that. And so basically what we're finding out now too is that not only did these agents escape a sandbox that apparently OpenAI does not have the technical capability to create, to maintain, right? So OpenAI does not have the ability to maintain a sandbox environment for their artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence, the agents, when they broke out, OpenAI does not have the ability to monitor their own systems for problems like this, which becomes really interesting because they're like an AI company. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. So, friend of the show, there's this guy, Martin Lehner. He runs Tangerine. I guess it's Tangerine Technology up in the Yukon Territory. Anyways, I think he has like 10 employees. He has a number of employees. Like if he created a set of cybersecurity agents, because he does cybersecurity, he created cybersecurity agents and then they like escaped and they ran amok. Look, he's got like 10 employees. He runs a managed service provider company up in the fucking Yukon. Like, if he said, look, I didn't allocate enough resources in order to properly contain these things. Again, he should still get fucking smacked for it. But you understand what's going on. I want you to think about this for a second. OpenAI, Sam Altman has stated if they don't get $1 trillion IPO, it's a non-starter. If they are not valued at $1 trillion, their company fails. So he thinks his company is worth $1 trillion. $1 trillion AI company not only does not have the ability to sandbox environments for their AI agents, but they don't have the ability to monitor their own systems. What? Isn't that the whole fucking point? When we talk about artificial general intelligence, He's literally, this jackass has come out and literally said, we have already gotten to the point of the singularity. So the idea with the singularity is that when the computer systems not only become smarter than human beings, but it's self-reinforcing, self-training, so that they rapidly become smarter than human beings. Right? This guy is literally trying to tell the world we are at the moment of the singularity, and his internal AI systems cannot monitor what the hell is going on to prevent his other systems from hacking people. Like it's just like the absurdity here. It's just absurd. So, anyways, what we're finding out now is apparently OpenAI did commit felonies against other companies. The rogue agent that escaped from OpenAI and went on a days-long hacking spree at the AI firm Hugging Face also compromised a customer at a second tech company, New York-based Modal Labs, according to a Modal executive and two other sources familiar with the matter. Modal executives emphasized that the company itself was not hacked. Modal is like, we were not hacked. It was our customer. It was our customer. They want you to know that. According to a timeline published by Hugging Face on Tuesday, the rogue agent broke into a sandbox or an isolated testing environment, quote, hosted on a third-party provider's infrastructure before turning it into a launch pad for the broader hack. So basically what's going on, and this is something that you should be careful about, again, with your systems, when you're building out your systems, essentially what the agents were able to do, the agents were able to compromise this particular company's systems. Once they were within these particular company systems, from there, they were then able to launch attacks from Hugging Face. So basically, OpenAI had to commit a felony so that they could continue committing more felonies. The third-party provider was not named in the blog post, but Modal's chief technology officer said the agent exploited vulnerable code written by a customer that was hosted on Modal's platform. Modal said the customer had, quote, published an unauthenticated endpoint that allowed anyone on the internet to use their sandbox for code execution. Modal's platform or isolation were not compromised in any way. Although the compromise of a Modal customer was just an initial step in the wider hacking campaign against Hugging Face, it shows that the rogue agent roamed further afield than was previously known. And this is one of the big questions too with OpenAI. And really for you, if you're going to be using AI agents, how do you monitor what your AI agents are actually doing? Like this is one of the interesting things I don't think it gets talked about enough is in this modern world, there's this big question of like, what do org charts look like with AI agents and humans in them? And then what does supervision look like with AI agents and humans in them? Like, where does responsibility lie and all that kind of stuff? Another important thing to be thinking about is how do you monitor what your AI agents are actually doing? Right? What happens when your AI agents start doing things you would have never thought about? So, like, that's one of the big things with bringing employees back to the office, right? The whole back to office policy a lot of companies are doing. One of the reasons that they're doing it is that they're finding managing employees remotely is a real pain in the ass, right? How do you properly manage employees remotely? Because when you have them in the office, when you have them in the cube farm, if you're a manager, you can walk behind them and you can see what's on people's screens and you can know whether they're doing their job or whether they're doing something stupid, and you can try to manage them that way. One of the problems is when you have remote workers, it becomes more difficult to simply supervise your employees to verify they're doing whatever the hell it is that they're supposed to be doing, right? One of the interesting questions when we start talking about AI agents, in all seriousness, how do you supervise AI agents? How do you verify that AI agents, in fact, are doing what they're supposed to be doing and are off on some weird ass tangent, burning tokens, breaking the law, or whatever else? I think this is a big thing a lot of folks aren't really thinking about. Like when we talk about this with black box artificial intelligence. So we talk about black box or non-explanatory artificial intelligence, right? Non-explanatory is basically this AI that's been created by neural networks where it just does its thing. It's just like does it. Why does it do it? Who the fuck knows? You put in a request, you get response back. That's all you get, right? One of the big problems there, especially with these AI agents, is if you don't really understand what they're doing, why they're doing what they're doing, all of that kind of thing, I think that can turn into a disaster really quickly. And it is fascinating here that it seems like OpenAI has no visibility into what their AI agents are doing. And I really want you to consider this for a second. If OpenAI doesn't have visibility of their actions of their agents. What, what does that mean for all these other companies in the world? OpenAI declined to comment specifically on the hack of one of Modal's customers, instead referring Reuters to an update in which a company said its rogue agent had broken into 4 accounts at 4 separate services. Well, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the 4 felonies that we committed. Lordy. OpenAI did not identify those services, but a person familiar with the matter identified Modal as one. The company said it had not identified, quote, any other activity at the level of severity or scale that we've shared related to Hugging Face, which involved platform level compromise. So yeah, this whole story with OpenAI and their quote unquote rogue agent gets worse and worse and worse. And it doesn't get worse because we're at the singularity. It doesn't get worse because AI is more dangerous than nuclear weapons. It gets worse because apparently these fucking AI companies don't have the institutional capability to do things like create sandboxes and have visibility into what their agents do. They're so focused on whatever other horseshit that they're doing that they're not doing basic system administration tasks and the basics that should be required in order to test these systems or whatever else, which is just absolutely and utterly appalling. I want to know when the grand jury is going to be called and when Sam Altman is going to have to go and sit at the grand jury for them to decide if there's enough evidence to press a case against them in a court of law. Because what I'm seeing here is that OpenAI apparently committed 4 fucking felonies and they're treating it like a joke. The worst part about this is they committed 4 felonies and they don't seem to be treating it as if they committed 4 felonies, right? Because for some reason, when Sam Altman does something, when Sam Altman commits a felony, for some reason, nobody expects him to actually get punished for his actions for some reason. Anyways, so what do you think about this? What do you think about this disaster of artificial intelligence? Again, like day after day, like we were told it was going to solve science and cure disease. And instead, this is the garbage we're getting out of this day after day. I don't know. Put your thoughts. Put your thoughts down below. Will Sam Altman ever have to sit in front of a grand jury for the crimes that he has committed? What do you think? What do you think? Anyways, if you like these episodes, do remember they're on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Link is down below. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.